Hello and happy Wednesday, Canvas Real Estate Miami Lakes family. This is yours truly, Coach. Today is Wednesday, February 12th, and I am here in the confines of our office in Miami Lakes, bringing you a subject that many people speak about, but very few people actually take action in, in setting goals, basically. So my goal and my purpose today is to whet your appetite as to the advantages and the reasons of creating goals, setting goals, but more importantly, writing goals. So I have a little bit of a strategy here today to share with each and every one of you. I see Gracie is on Zoom. Hola, Gracie. Saludos. And Vanessa Ramirez is here to my left. So hopefully this recording will be reviewed by many of you. And if you have any questions after the fact, please feel free to reach out to me. So with that said, setting goals is as good as compounding interest, because with the accumulation, there's, as you said, goals, there's a compound accumulating effect by doing so. Here are some stats regarding those that set goals. And better said, those that set and write goals, because there is a difference between setting goals and writing goals. So according to one study, and I'm going to be citing two different sources regarding setting goals, but one in particular one is from Brian Buffini, stating that 3% of those who set goals are independently wealthy. 10% live comfortable. 27% of the people that don't write goals, they depend on outside support, and 60% barely get by. So you could see those that set goals and write goals, they're basically in the minority of society. Now, the major difference is that the top 3% had set clearly defined goals and have placed them in writing. The next 10% had goals in mind, but had no written plans for their accomplishments. The middle 60% sometimes wished for something, but because they had no goals, their wishes remained merely dreams. And the bottom 27% had no goals except to exist. They spent a lifetime depending on outside help. So the way I'm going to go about this training today is I'm going to share a short training, or better said, a short video. I'm going to share how to set goals through the goal setting, through a process that I have, SMART goals. And then I'm going to share and show how to create goals and accomplish short-term goals through something what I call a GPS, which is a 135. It's a process specifically for someone that wants to share short-term goals. That is going to be dependent if there's someone here. I know Vanessa's here, but I don't know how long she's going to be here if she wants to go through this process with me. And for those in person, do and complete a exercise that I have of writing one goal for 7 areas of your life. And then do a live demonstration of how the GPS works and how it will empower you. So with that said, let me share some other stats regarding goals. And this one comes straight and directly from my planner, which I use. It's called the Action Planner. And research shows that 97% of people are walking the same path. Well, actually, let me share a story here. Alice in Wonderland, would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? That depends on a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. So research shows that 97% of people are walking the same path as Alice. For example, they have not set any goals. Among the reasons are fear, lack of encouragement, lack of know-how. But if we set goals, there's a lot to offer because goals draw out the best in us. They show us the right path. They increase our self-confidence and improve our image. Setting goals is the strongest force in self-encouragement. Those who lack a clear direction have difficulty setting goals, but those who have defined their attitudes toward work, communication, and themselves find it easier because the goals are, in fact, an intersection of all these factors of basically communications, yourself, and work. So here's the most important question, or the first question is, how many of you have written goals in the past? Number one. Number two, do you currently have goals, or better said, written goals? And number three, have those having set goals and written goals, have they empowered you and have they helped you reach your goals? So that is something for you to answer there where you're at regarding goals. Now, here's defining goals. People without direction find it difficult to set goals. Your direction, on the other hand, should be clear and should emerge in the values you want to live by in your work and communications. The following questions are helpful when setting goals. So, in order to set goals, there is a process, and I will walk you through that process today. And I have this material to share with you. So, if you send me a text uh, through instant message or just regular SMS text at 786-683-4594, I could send you a goal setting package that I have and that I use for the agents that I coach in my productivity coaching program. So here are the following questions that are helpful when setting goals. What do I want to be, own, and do this year? Why do I want that? And how will I achieve that and connect it to my weekly goals? You see, setting goals really starts in the now. As you will see in this training, that you start in the now, today, you set goals for today, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, 3 to 5 year goals, and someday goals. So it's a process, but it really starts in the now. It starts today, because you have to go through certain basically accomplishing small goals on a daily basis in a consistent manner in order to meet your weekly goals, at least for us in the real estate industry. Then once you hit those goals on a weekly basis, then they have the compound accumulating effect of taking it out to the month. You have your monthly goals. Then from there, a good idea is what I'm going to be showing you today, doing quarterly goals. Then in those quarterly goals, then they translate into the yearly goals. But here's a catch, especially now in the early part of this year or the year, is that once you get to the half way mark of the year, once you get to the end of June and let's say 4th of July, it's a good idea to see where you're at, recalibrate, and see where it is that you're at, or gauge where you're currently at with your goals, and what is it that you need to do different. What do you need to tweak in order to accomplish your goals? Now, the importance of goals, and there's the acronym of SMART goals, and I will also be sharing that in this training, is that they need to be attainable. That's what the A and the SMART goals is for being attainable. Okay. So it's, you don't do anything by you setting yourself such high goals that you're really, it's what they say, a pipe dream. No, you need to have goals that are attainable. And along the way, that as you get momentum, accomplishing some of the small goals, now when you get momentum, then that will propel you to reach those goals that you have set, those bigger goals that you have set. Now, I encourage you to write down your main goals for this year, and then you will connect the goals for your weekly goals. You must have long range goals to keep you from being frustrated by short range failures. Now, in regards to the weekly goals, man is a goal seeking animal. His life only has meaning if he is reaching out and striving for his goals. This is a quote by Aristotle. Aristotle. He's a Greek philosopher. We set ourselves goals to work at each week in accordance with the yearly goals. Here's a thought. 1,000-mile walk always begins with the first step. So right where you're at, take the first step. There are three main steps when setting goals: defining the goal of the week, defining the result you want to achieve, and deciding what steps need to be taken to move things forward. A good example of a person who uses this method is golfer Jack Nicklaus. He said, first I see where I want my golf ball to land. That is defining your goals. Then I see how I want the ball to fly through the air and land in the right spot. That's definition of the desired result. And finally, I see myself swinging the golf club, which transforms the fantasy into reality, which is the next action step. So with that, let's turn our attention to the video that I have here to share with you. That's going to talk a little bit more about goals. And while this gets started, Lisi, hi there. Thank you for joining the training.
Hi, thank you so much.
Teaching modules start to get a little shorter, the action steps start to get a little longer. Now, this module is dedicated to be a goal getter. A little over 30 years ago, I got exposed to goal setting. It historically changed the arc of the rest of my life. Once I started setting goals, I started reaching goals. My confidence grew. The more my confidence grew, the bigger the goals I set, the greater the accomplishments. A goal often sets goals, but knows what it takes to achieve them. Now, goal setting has not only transformed my life, but in the last 25 years, every seminar and training program that I've taught had goal setting built into it. And we've had more than 3 million people set goals, but the results have been transformational. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about what a goal actually is. Well, according to Mr. Webster, it's the end to which all effort is directed. The end to which all effort is directed. So let's talk about how to be a goal getter. 3 main points is normal. First, why we need goals. Second, why we miss our goals. And third, how to set SMART goals. So why we need goals, why we miss them, and then we're going to talk about setting SMART goals. Let's take a look at the power of goal setting. There's a very famous Harvard study. It was done at the Harvard Business School, the class of 1979.
and they followed the trajectory of these graduates. Now, if you think about it, you have Harvard students, they're pretty well set up in a lot of ways. 1979, they've been tracking these people now for decades. Outcomes for these people were very different. They all had a great start in life, away from Harvard, but where they ended up, very different. 27% ended up on outside support, and they needed additional revenue to support them. 60% of those graduates were barely getting by. Not a great endorsement for Harvard. 10% were living comfortably, and 3% were independently wealthy based on their own work. Crazy stuff. So what are the differences between these groups? Well, the top 3% had set clearly defined goals and had placed them in writing. Clearly defined goals and placed them in writing. The next 10% were doing okay. They had goals in mind, but they had no written plans for their accomplishment. The 60% that were barely getting by, they sometimes were wishing for things, but because they did not, wishes merely remained dreams. And the bottom 27% had no goals. They spent a lifetime depending on outside help. What is going to happen to the rest of us? We've got to make sure that we are looking forward. We've got to make sure that the goals that we can visualize and we can see, they've got to be clearly defined and they must be in writing. The one quote says, those who stare at the past have their backs turned to the future. Focus on goals. So why do we need it? Well, first of all, they clarify what you really want. What you really want. What you really want to want. What you really want to sacrifice for. What you want to do. That's what you know. You really want to do something.
Got a question. I don't know, Lisi and Gracie, are you hearing the audio from the video?
Coach, se escucha bien bajito.
¿Cómo?
Se escucha muy bajito.
Se escucha muy bajito. Ok.
Sí.
Dame un segundito. Déjame tratar de mejorar aquí el video y el audio. Porque no sé qué está sucediendo. Could you help me out, Lauren? Please. So I got this video going, but it's very low. I don't know. What am I doing wrong here?
The more visual representation of your goals. I have goal boards where I cut out pictures and print off images of places I want to go, the things I.
¿Se escuchó
Coach,
ahora?
ahora sí, sí,
Sí.
muchísimo mejor. Sí,
Oh.
perfecto.
Voy a empezar el video otra vez, nada más que he llevado 4 minuticos en el video.
Okay, okay.
Empezarlo. So I'm going to start the video again. We're only 4 minutes into it. And thank you. Laura.
A lot of ways. 1979, they've been tracking these people now for decades. But the outcomes for these people were very different. They all had a great start in life, graduating from Harvard. But where they ended up, very different. 27% ended up on outside support. Then they needed additional revenue to support them. 60% of those graduates were barely getting by. Not a great endorsement for Harvard. 10% were living comfortably, and 3%
were independently wealthy based on their own work. Crazy stuff. So what are the differences between these groups? Well, the top 3% had set clearly defined goals and had placed them in writing. Clearly defined goals and placed them in writing. The next 10% who were doing okay, they had goals in mind, but they had no written plans for their accomplishment. The 60% that were barely getting by, they sometimes were wishing for things, but because they didn't have goals, their wishes merely remained dreams. And the bottom 27% had no goals except to exist. They spent a lifetime depending on outside help. Crazy. Now, if that happens to that group, well, what is going to happen for the rest of us? We've got to make sure that we are looking forward. We've got to make sure that we're setting goals that we can visualize, that we can see. They've got to be clearly defined, and they must be in writing. A wonderful quote says, "Those who stare at the past have their backs turned to the future." We have to focus on goals. So why do we need them? Well, first of all, they clarify what you really want, what you really want, what you're really working for, what you're willing to sacrifice for, what you're willing to do. My mentor, Jim Rohn, used to say, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Goals make you really want to do something. The next thing they do is they create a mental picture to focus your energies. A mental picture to focus your energies. A picture's worth 1,000 words. And when you have that picture in mind, and that's why the more visual your goals can be, the more visual representation of your goals. I have goal boards where I cut out pictures and print off images of places I want to go, the things I want to do, the goals I want to achieve. And I have those pictures in front of me in a goal board that I'm looking at all the time. Ultimately, when you have a goal, what it does is it brings into life one of the most powerful attributes of success, and it's the word focus. You know, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, when they first met, it was actually at Bill Gates' mom's and dad's home. And Bill Gates' dad slid across 2 sheets of paper to the 2 richest men in the world at the time and said, I want you to write down one word that's contributed to your success. Well, this was the first time these guys had ever met. They both picked up their pens, wrote on the paper, slid it back to Bill Gates' dad. He picked it up. It was the same word. And it was the word focus. A great acrostic for the word focus is follow one course until success. Follow one course until success. How about this? How about you follow the 100 days course until success? How about you follow the action steps and the real estate ready steps and those tasks until you become successful in this program? Focus. The last thing about goals is they unlock the power of our subconscious mind. Some call it the unconscious mind. Are you aware that up to 80% of our actions actually come out of our unconscious mind? Well, when you create a picture with your goals of what you really want, and it's real clear to you, and it's defined, it creates a picture in your mind. And even in your sleep, your mind is working towards those goals. Thomas Jefferson said, nothing has stopped the person with the right mental attitude from achieving their goal, and nothing on earth can help the person with the wrong mental attitude. Have that goal, have the right attitude, and away you go. Now let's talk about why we miss our goals. The first reason is there's a lack of motivation. There becomes a lack of motivation. Now for me, it's a bit of a chicken and egg story. See, you have to write goals that have some juice to them. You have to write goals that motivate you. You have to write goals that go, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. That would be great. If only I could get there. If only I could achieve that. That would create some juice for you. And then you need to feed it with motivation. That has to be constant. And motivation doesn't last a long time. That's why you have to do it daily. Okay? It's like taking a shower. Okay? Bathing doesn't last a long time. Neither does motivation. That's why we have to constantly do it. Henry Ford, the great American industrialist, said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So we've got to make sure we have the right motivation. The next thing is this lack of perceived progress. Okay? And we've talked about this, why you need to track your activities. Because you might not feel like you're moving forward, but you're on the right track. You've got to make sure that you know that you're tracking your activities so that you know you're having some momentum. And momentum is powerful. John Maxwell says momentum solves 80% of your problems because it gives you that feeling that the wind is in your hair, that you're actually moving forward and you're making progress towards your goal. Now, another reason why we miss our goals is not that we intentionally say, I'm going to screw up my life. I'm gonna get broke, I'm gonna get fat, I'm gonna get miserable. And no one sets out goals like that. But here's what does happen. A very deadly killer, and it's called drift.
Where's the Zoom?
Right.
No, the Zoom.
Right.
Drift.
I'm
We
trying to
simply
figure-
drift away from where we're desiring to go. How do we do it? Well, you miss a day. And then you miss another day. You miss out on writing a few personal notes. You miss out on making a few calls. You miss out on doing a few Popeyes. You miss out on doing a little exercise. You miss out on eating good for a day. And the next thing you know, another day and another day. And then you wake up and you go, how the heck did I get here? The great Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw said, to be in hell is to drift. To be in heaven is to steer. And if you're steering, you have to be steering towards something. And for me, that's a goal. The third part here is about setting SMART goals. SMART goals. And there's, again, very, very famous acrostic. This actually came out of that Harvard study originally. Goals should be SMART. That means specific and written. They have to be specific and they have to be in writing, not goals in mind. Next, they should be measurable. That means they're measurable in progress and completion. Next, there should be an achievable outcome. It's something you can get done. Realistic in time and skill. Realistic in time and skill. And then there's a time-based achievement. A time-based achievement. Let me share with you my favorite goal of all time. It's when John F. Kennedy spoke at Rice University. And he said, we're going to put a man on the moon and bring him safely to Earth by the end of the decade. We're going to put a man on the moon, very specific, had measurable progress and completion and achievable outcome, realistic in time and skill. We're going to bring him back safely to Earth by the end of the decade. A time-based achievement. The Americans put a man on the moon in July of 1969. It's the most remarkable goal I've ever heard of. When I got a chance to interview Neil Armstrong, and I talked about the complexity of it all, he said, you know, the reason we were able to achieve that goal is every night when we went home, we looked outside. We saw our goal in front of us. Our goal was in front of us. We want to put a man up there, bring him safely to Earth, and do it within this period of time. Your goals need to be that clear to you. Well, we've established a couple of goals for you with the 100 Days program. For a start, we said minimum of 1 closed sale and a minimum of 2 pending sales in this first 100 days. Now, we're early on into the program, but we got to start doing the activities to generate those leads that are going to produce those kind of transactions. We have a checklist for reaching your goal, okay? Complete all training action steps and all the real estate ready tasks. So you have action steps and the tasks to be that capable realtor. Next, 100 sorted and qualified relationships in your database.
Bueno, Lizzie, una preguntita. ¿Tú entiendes inglés?
Ok.
No.
A ver, yo puedo entender, no sé cómo explicarle. No, si nos ponemos a decir, ¿puedes comprender todo lo que el profesor dijo? No, no lo puedo comprender todo, realmente. Pero no sé cómo explicarle. Entiendo la relación que tiene y trato de, usted sabe, adaptar a lo que sé. No sé cómo, de verdad no sé cómo explicarle que no
Ok.
quiero decir no entiendo completamente nada para que me comprenda, ¿no? Pero a la misma vez sí me es difícil. Vivo en Miami hace 9 años y nunca he tenido muchos trabajos, pero no han estado directamente vinculadas con que yo tenga que hablar inglés, ¿no? Siendo
Entonces,
honesta.
respecto a lo que compartí y he compartido hasta
Ujú.
ahora, me imagino que has captado o has podido entender muy poco, ¿no?
Efectivamente, sí.
Ok.
Pero bueno, entiendo que, es decir, estoy muy contenta, no sé si me comprenden, muy contenta de haber empezado y soy de las personas que piensa que con miedo nada puedo hacer. So, lo que no he aprendido hasta ahora no significa que no lo voy a aprender. No,
Ok.
este es mi mundo ahora y tengo que hacer todo lo posible por siempre hacerlo mejor.
Está. Ok, entonces yo voy a seguir el entrenamiento en inglés porque, o sea, como lo
Ujú.
comencé en inglés
Sí,
y lo voy a compartir en inglés en
ajá,
nuestra página de YouTube, entonces voy a
ujú,
seguir y entonces después nosotros podemos hablar más detalladamente y esto, o sea, y lo que estoy compartiendo definitivamente lo puedo compartir en español en un futuro. ¿Ok?
ok, ok,
Sí,
ok,
déjame.
no hay problema.
Ok. All right. So in regards to our continuing training, so there you saw what the SMART goals are based on the video that I just shared from Brian Buffini. But now I'm going to share a document here. So basically, this training being that it's real estate focused, there's 9 areas specifically that most agents need to focus on. And this I'm going to translate in Spanish because I think that, you know, for those that are watching, they may be able to receive value and benefit from it. Por lo general, nosotros los realtos tenemos 9 áreas que nos enfocamos o necesitamos enfocarnos en nuestra carrera, en nuestra profesión y personalmente también. In regards to the 9 areas, first area is profit, second is production, 3 is people, and the one here on people is in regards to the context. How many people are you contacting? How many people do you know? Who are you marketing to? Who are you meeting? So this is an area of focus that we as real estate agents need to hone in on and need to focus on. Number 4 is projects. Each and every one of us, we're all working in different projects, okay? Whether it's a marketing project, whether it's a listing, whether it's a presentation with a listing for a listing or a presentation for a buyer, we're working on a project and putting a transaction together. So we're always working in some sort of a project if we're moving the ball forward. Number 5 is psychology and mindset. This is very important in regards to mainly the mindset is what is our mindset? What is it that we're doing to feed our mind? How is it that we are strengthening the muscles in our minds in order when the challenges come, the problems come, the disappointments come, how do we recover? Do we recover within the same day, within 5 minutes, within the hour, within 3 hours, or one day or a couple days? Everybody's at a different level, but you have to prepare yourself mentally in order to overcome the challenges that we face in our business on a daily basis and on a regular basis. Number 6 is physical health and energy. I'm going to show you something here within this presentation, a recommendation that comes from a book that I recommend for each and every one of you to read, which is The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Number 7 is priorities. A part of priorities is your daily tasks. What is important? I've identified 6 things or 6 areas that agents need to focus on a daily basis 80% of their time, which is income producing activities. So doesn't matter how many hours you're working in this business, you need to focus most of your time in income producing activities. However, the reality is that we spend less time doing income producing activities than we do the other parts in our life and other areas in our business or personal that keeps us away from producing an income. And that's why we're frustrated, and that's why we don't achieve the results that we want, at least financially, in our income that we earn. Number 8 is a 411. That's a document that I use in my coaching for those that are involved in the productivity coaching program at a high level. It's a 411. Basically, it has to do with goals, but it has to do with goals on a monthly basis and breaking them down on a weekly basis. And then the last one is calendar and scheduling. Your goals, what does your day look like? So here's a question. Does your calendar and schedule, does it prove or does it demonstrate, or better said, match your goals, your income goal? Is your calendar, first and foremost, do you have a calendar? That's a question that needs to be asked. Do you have a planner? And here's what I'm talking about. Do you have a planner that breaks down your week on a daily basis and per hour in order for you to schedule your appointments, in order for you to schedule what's important to you? So that's a first step. But the most important is, what does your schedule look like on a daily basis? Do you know what you're going to be doing at 12 o'clock in the day? Do you know what you're supposed to be doing at 3 o'clock in the day? Do you know what you're supposed to be doing at 8 o'clock in the evening? And so on and so forth. So the calendaring part and the scheduling part, this is one of the most important areas of focus that you as a real estate agent, you must have in place. Okay. So in regards to this, I'm going to translate in Spanish. Okay. Las áreas de enfoque de nosotros los realtors es recomendable, o por lo general tenemos 9 áreas de enfoque. Uno es el profit, que es el lucro, la cantidad que ganamos de nuestro negocio. Número 2 es la producción. Número 3 son las personas en nuestro negocio. Nuestro negocio deriva de las personas que nosotros conocemos, las personas que nosotros hacemos contacto, la persona que estamos tratando de ver si quieren hacer negocios con nosotros. Esto es una área muy importante. Número 4 son los proyectos que nosotros realizamos. Todos los realtors nosotros tenemos diferentes proyectos que estamos trabajando, sea una presentación con un vendedor, una presentación con un comprador, trabajando en haciendo citas, buscando propiedades para los clientes y haciendo citas, haciendo negociaciones. Siempre estamos haciendo algún tipo de proyecto. Número 5 es la parte de psicología y la parte, la fuerza mental que tenemos. Esta parte yo creo que es una de las cosas más importantes de nosotros los realtors que tenemos que tener, que es tener una mente fuerte para cuando tengamos las situaciones y las crisis que salen en nuestro negocio regularmente, y tenemos que tener la fortaleza mental de poder sobrepasarlas. Algunas personas a lo mejor sobrepasan un reto o algo que le haya sucedido negativamente, a lo mejor inmediatamente le dan 10, 15 minuticos, miran la situación y siguen al próximo paso o segmento en su día. Alguna gente se demora 1 hora, otras se demoran 3 horas, otra un día y algunas personas hasta 3 días o una semana, sabe Dios. Pero todo es la preparación y la fortaleza mental que tengamos nosotros, lo que es la parte del mindset. El número 6 es la parte física de nuestra salud y la energía. Y aquí en este entrenamiento y lo que voy a compartir una información de uno de los libros que yo recomiendo que todos los agentes deban de leer, que es El Inmobiliario Millonario. En inglés es The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Número 7 son las prioridades que tenemos que tener enfoque. El número 8 es un documento que yo utilizo para los realtors que están en el programa de Productivity Coaching Program, pero que están a un nivel alto, que comparto con ellos regularmente, porque es un documento que es para estar más enfocado en las metas mensualmente, semanalmente y diariamente. Por eso que se titula 411, que son 4 semanas, una semana y diario. Y lo que debemos estar haciendo diariamente. Y número 9, la parte del calendario y scheduling. Esta parte, punto número 9, posiblemente una de las áreas más importantes. Yo diría que de las áreas de importancia estaría del 1 al 3, no la más importante, no la segunda, la tercera, pero algo entre las 5 más áreas más importantes, yo pudiera decir, de nuestra profesión que debemos estar enfocados, que es la parte del calendario y nuestro schedule, que debemos saber lo que estamos haciendo o lo que debemos estar haciendo diariamente, consistentemente, semanalmente, mensualmente, y eso solamente se puede realizar si tienen un calendario, una agenda. Yo recomiendo a todos los agentes que necesitan tener una agenda para saber qué es lo que van a hacer en el transcurso del día, todas las citas que van a programar, y más importante que nada es para poder evaluar lo que han hecho en el transcurso del año, si tienen una agenda. ¿Okay? Ahora vamos a seguir aquí. Respecto a las metas, uno debe programar las metas de ahora, de un día, una semana, un mes, un año, 5 años, pero realísticamente yo creo 5 años un poquito demasiado, mirando al futuro, demasiado largo, por las cuestiones que han sucedido en los últimos años, últimos 15, 20 años. Es un poquito difícil, yo creo, que poder programar 5 años hacia adelante en lo que son las metas. Sí, la recomendación serían 3 años, pero si pueden, o sea, de 3 a 5 años y metas de un futuro. In regards to the goal setting, as I shared earlier, your focus on the now, and your goals should be, the someday goals, of 5-year goals, 1-year goal, 1-month goal, 1 week, 1 day, and in the now. What is it that you're doing now that's helping you to accomplish your goal? So again, we revisit the SMART goals. SMART goals, they need to be specific, the who and the what, measured, attainable. They need to be relevant, the expected result, and more importantly, timed. En respecto a esto es una fórmula de hacer metas, y las metas deben ser específicas, se deben de poder medir, se debe poder realizar, debe ser de importancia, o mejor dicho, el resultado que se debe de esperar, y más que nada del tiempo. Tengo una meta quiero cumplirla de aquí al 30 de abril. Tengo una meta y la meta que tengo es cumplirla de aquí a finales de junio. Tengo una meta y la quiero realizar para el 31 de diciembre. Todas las metas deben tener una fecha como tal. Ahora, aquí en esta presentación, yo tengo pasos de cómo realizar, mejor dicho, cómo hacer citas. Es un goal setting worksheet. Aquí tengo un promedio, tengo 12 pasos. Okay. Here on this presentation, and again, if you want a copy of this goal setting, this goal setting plan that I have, please text me or call me. My number is 786-683-4594, and I will be more than glad to share this goal setting plan that I have here. All right. But here you have 12 steps in order to create your goals, a goal setting worksheet. So here's what I shared in the earlier part about the areas of focus. So this comes directly from the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, page 308. Okay. And this is something that is recommended for each and every one of us who are in the real estate business. This is called the Physical Health Energy Plan. Okay. So meditate and pray. This is our spiritual energy. Exercise and eat. This is our physical energy. Hug, kiss, and laugh. This is our emotional energy. Plan the calendar. This is our mental energy. And lead generate. This is our business energy. Now, the key to this plan is that you do this in the morning. The book suggests by 11 o'clock. I'm going to give you grace, and I say by 12 p.m. So if you could accomplish all these areas on a regular basis, you are set and you're ready to win the day. Or better said, you have actually won the day, provided that you do this on a regular basis. Este plan es lo que estaba compartiendo, de lo que compartí de la área de enfoque, que esto sale del libro del inmobiliario millonario, que es un plan de energía, que son 5 pasos de meditar y orar. Esta es la energía espiritual, de hacer ejercicio y comer un buen desayuno. Es la energía física, de abrazar, besar y reírnos con nuestros seres queridos. Es la energía emocional, planificar el calendario, prácticamente agendar el día, es nuestra energía mental, y generar clientes es la energía de nuestro negocio. De acuerdo a este plan y de acuerdo al libro, mejor dicho, esto está supuesto, o la recomendación es que se haga antes de las 11 del día. Mi recomendación es que se haga antes de las 12 del día, antes del mediodía. En el momento que puedas realizar estas 5 cosas diariamente y una manera consistencia, ustedes están moviendo lo que yo digo es moviendo la pelota adelante. Están ganando el día en el momento que hagan esto diariamente. Aquí tengo otras series de preguntas que son the top 10 goals, las 10 preguntas más importantes, o 10 preguntas de importancia para poder hacer las metas que ustedes quieran. Y abajo hay 5 otras preguntas para reflexión cuando vayan a hacer metas. Here on part of this goal setting package is there's 10 more top 10 goal setting questions. It's a goal setting worksheet. It's a supplementary to the goal setting worksheet that I showed earlier. And here's 5 additional extra goal setting and reflection questions. Now, this is my recommendation. When you're getting ready to set goals, you need to put it on your calendar. You need to plan it out. You need to block out everything. Avoid all distractions. Empty, just clear your calendar and just focus on this. I would say for a minimum of 2 to 3 hours. Go somewhere where it's quiet, a serene area, and that there's no interruptions. Block out your phone, whatever it is. Just take the time. This perhaps may be some of the best invested 2 to 3 hours of your time that you could do for yourself and for your family and for your future. So that is my recommendation. Cuando vayan a hacer citas, cuando vayan a establecer y escribir las metas, mi recomendación es que tomen de 2 a 3 horas sin ninguna interrupción, ninguna distracción. Pónganlo en su agenda, en su schedule, porque tal vez esto pudiera ser 2 o 3 horas, mejor dicho, las 2 o 3 horas mejores invertidas que usted pudiera hacer para su vida, para su futuro y su carrera de real estate. Ahora aquí vamos a ver 7 círculos para vivir una vida balanceada. En estos 7 círculos, esto viene de un libro que se llama The One Thing, una cosa. Y la importancia es que está el mito, hay un mito en la sociedad como tal de lo que es el multitasking. En este libro que escribió el gerente de la compañía más grande de real estate en los Estados Unidos, Gary Keller, de la compañía Keller Williams, él dice que el mito mejor dicho, él dijo que el multitasking es un mito, que las personas que hacen multitasking de verdad no están siendo más productivas y no son más eficientes. Él realísticamente lo que recomienda es que se enfóquense en una cosa. Entonces, 7 áreas de enfoque en la vida es la vida espiritual que debemos de tener, nuestra salud física, nuestra vida personal, nuestras relaciones con nuestros seres queridos. En esta parte hay 2 círculos, uno es para el trabajo y otro es para el negocio. Esto realísticamente para los realtos que son realtos full time, realísticamente se pudiera decir, se pudiera poner en un círculo o estos 2 círculos se pudieran poner, interconectar. Creo que no lo estoy diciendo bien, pero, o sea, integrarlos juntos, porque tu negocio es tu trabajo. Si estás ejerciendo esta profesión de real estate el 100%, o sea, que no tienes otro trabajo como en el caso mío. Y la otra área de círculo o de importancia es las finanzas. In regards to this image here, this is the 7 circles of living a balanced life. According to the book written by Gary Keller, who is the founder of Keller Williams Realty, he wrote a book called The One Thing. He has identified, or better said, he has debunked the myth of multitasking. He believes that multitasking, that individuals who buy into the multitasking philosophy that they are not really more productive and more efficient in their lives. So therefore, he encourages to focus on the one thing. So these are 7 areas that we as individuals that we need to be focusing on, which is our spiritual life, our physical health, our personal life, uh, our key relationships, your job and your business and your finances. For us who are real estate agents full time, basically you could combine my business and my job. You could basically interloop both of these circles and make them one. But bottom line is that you need to focus on these areas of your life and focus one, when you're focusing on them, focus directly on them and nothing else. And that part of multitasking, that's basically a myth, according to Gary Keller. And I think if Gary Keller, and actually he has stats, he has done studies, he hired individuals to research this information for him. And I believe that he is true. He's on in regards to multitasking. Here's a fact. When you're doing something and you get interrupted, chances are it's going to take you 10 to 50 minutes to focus back and working on a particular project. Or better said, let me retrace myself. Let's say you're working on a project and for A, B, or C reason, you get interrupted. You get interrupted at the door, you get interrupted by a phone call, something happens, something distracts you. It's going to take a minimum 10 to 50 minutes for you to focus and get your mind back in what it was that you were doing. And therefore, that's where the time wasters come. Here's the biggest time waster right now in this 3x5 card or 3x6 or whatever size phone you have. This is a big distraction. Every time your phone pings, it's distracting you. So one recommendation that Gary Keller does in his book, one thing, is about block scheduling, blocking out time to do and accomplish your tasks of importance that you're working on. So block schedule is the recommended way to do so. Now, this area here, I have in this goal setting package, something what I call the GPS, which is the 135. Basically, this is one goal with 3 priorities and 5 strategies. So I was hoping to have been able to do this exercise with here live, but unfortunately, there's no one here at this training. And so this part, I'm going to skip it. But if anyone wants to take me up on this, I'll be more than glad to help you to gain clarity on any goals that you're looking to accomplish using this strategy of the 135. Esto que estoy compartiendo aquí es una estrategia de que yo, mejor dicho, que yo aprendí o que me han enseñado de hacer metas de enfoques de corto plazo o largo plazo. En este específico ejemplo tenemos un agente que tenía unas metas de 122 cierres anual y él utilizó este documento que son 3 prioridades con 5 estrategias cada uno. Entonces, esto es un formato o un sistema de poder crear metas de corto plazo. Yo personalmente la utilizo para metas que quiero realizar en cuestiones de 3 meses, cada 3 meses o por quarters. Yo divido el año por quarters porque es la mejor manera de dividir el año y la mayoría de los negocios trabajan por trimestres. El primer trimestre, segundo, tercero y cuarto, de enero a marzo, abril a junio, julio, septiembre y octubre, diciembre. Entonces, yo utilizo este formato del GPS, el 135, para metas de corto plazo. Y este es el documento que estaba hablando del 411, que es o sea, una herramienta, un sistema de estar más enfocado en lo que es las metas mensualmente. La razón que es 411 es 4 semanas, una semana y un día. Son las metas que necesitamos estar enfocados. This here is the document that I shared about the 411, which is part of the areas of focus. This is to be used on a monthly basis, which is 4 weeks, weekly basis, and on a daily basis. So this is one way to keep you focused in your goals and reaching your goals. And least but not last, these are the 6 personal perspectives that each and every one of us, I recommend for each and every one of you to focus and to really buy into the 6 personal perspective. On our YouTube channel from Canvas Real Estate Miami Lakes, I did a series or training regarding the 6 personal perspectives. I kind of broke it down a little bit more, but here you have 6 steps. Commit to self-mastery, commit to the 80-20 principle. This is a Pareto principle, moving from entrepreneur to purposeful, make being learning based the foundation of your action plan. To me, this is the most important. Step number 4, be learning based, because this is the foundation of your action plan. Number 5, this is for a mindset. Remove your limiting beliefs. Whatever it is that you think you can do, you're only placing a limiting belief. You could do all things, provided that you plan, you focus, you pour in energy, and you really just commit to accomplishing what it is that you want to accomplish. And step number 6 is be accountable. And that's where I come into place. That's where a coach comes into place, a mentor, in order to hold you accountable to your goals. En respecto a este documento, este es las 6 perspectivas personales que yo aprendí. Es una filosofía para poder incrementar y poder nosotros mejorarnos a diariamente, y prácticamente es una meta que nosotros debemos de tener, de mejorarnos personalmente. Paso número 1, comprometerse a ser un maestro en lo que ustedes hagan, en este caso, en su profesión de real estate. Paso número 2, comprometerse. Esto es una filosofía de déjame ver, un filósofo italiano, se llama Pareto, el apellido Pareto. Él prácticamente identificó que el 20% de nuestras energías o de nuestras actividades produce un 80% de resultados. Y prácticamente él lo llevó a diferentes niveles en lo que es la sociedad como tal. En la mayoría de las empresas, el 20% de los empleados producen un 80% de la producción. En una compañía de venta, y específicamente aquí en esta compañía de Canvas Real Estate en Miami Lakes, el 20% de los realtors producen el 80% de las ventas de esta oficina. Y eso lo podemos llevar a cualquier organización. En una organización de voluntarios, el 20% de los voluntarios hacen el 80% de las horas y de la producción del tiempo de voluntario. Entonces, esto es una fórmula que creó ese filósofo italiano Pareto. Paso número 3 es moverse de entrepreneur a purposeful. Quiere decir de empresario a una persona con propósito. debemos no solo ser empresarios, debemos de tener un propósito y de vivir nuestras vidas con propósito. Entonces ese es el paso número 3. Paso número 4 es hacer la fundación de tu plan de acción que sea una fundación de aprendizaje. Esto es para mí lo más importante, es que vivamos una vida de aprendizaje, de aprender, educarnos en lo que queramos realizar, en lo que queremos es enfocarnos en especialmente en nuestra profesión. Creo que es uno de los pasos más importantes. Paso número 5 es remover los pensamientos de limitación. Todos nosotros tenemos limitaciones y tenemos pensamientos de limitación que nos prohíben y no nos dejan realizar los sueños que nosotros tenemos. Y es porque tenemos pensamientos limitados. O sea, creemos que no lo podemos realizar. Y punto número 6 es de tener alguien de contabilidad. Para eso estoy yo aquí como el coach para ayudar a ustedes los agentes de cómo realizar sus metas, cómo mantenerse en enfoque, cómo preparar metas y las cosas que deben hacer como realtors para echar su negocio adelante. Y aquí para terminar, cada uno de nosotros debemos tener un plan de crecimiento. Esto no pasa porque pasa, esto tiene que planificarse. Entonces, aquí hay una hoja como si fuera un calendario de enero a diciembre de lo que ustedes van a hacer o lo que deben hacer, o mejor dicho, lo que quieren hacer para su área de crecimiento. Here to finish up and wrap up this training is the growth plan. Each and every person should have a growth plan. And this doesn't happen by default. It happens by design. Therefore, you need to plan out what it is that you're going to do to grow yourself, to improve yourself, to better yourself. So that happens again by design and not by default. So with this, this will conclude my training, being that I do have one participant in the Zoom call. I will take her questions and if you have any questions or if you want me to share anything with you, if you want to receive this goal setting package, reach out to me, 786-683-4594. Con esto vamos a concluir, Lizzy. ¿Qué preguntas tiene? ¿Qué fue algo que te llamó la atención de de este entrenamiento que acabo de realizar?
Eh, Preguntas, ¿no? Ya le digo, usted está aquí para darnos el enfoque correcto. Tiene mucha razón en que nuestra mente es la principal limitante, que el principal limitante que tiene un ser humano es que uno mismo se machaca, yo no puedo, o yo esto no puedo lograrlo. Y, y nada, usted lo está dejando muy, muy, muy claro. Trabajar en nuestros pensamientos, yo siento, en mi opinión, viéndome a mí misma, ¿no? Es lo que nos va a llevar siempre al éxito. Y con todo este entrenamiento tan específico y tan balanceado, solamente hay que aplicar, hay que lograr en esta vida tan rápida y loca, lograr hacerlo. Hacer todo lo posible por seguir los pasos, definitivamente. Todo está muy detallado y muy bien. Es solamente poner de nuestra parte lo mejor que podamos. En mi caso ahora, por ejemplo, adaptar una vida que no tiene nada que ver, le soy honesta, con ese ritmo, ¿no? Vamos a decir, adaptarla. A lo mejor levantarme más temprano para poder hacer ejercicio, a lo mejor levantarme más temprano para decir, no me voy a comer, digamos, un pan con mantequilla corriendo, me da tiempo a hacer un huevo revuelto que mi cerebro, usted sabe, mi organismo lo va a absorber mejor. So, cambiar, todo está en cambiar nuestra mentalidad. Definitivamente yo sé que es eso.
Y todo empieza en una planificación. O sea, necesitas tener una planificación y tener un plan,
Ujú,
un plan para poder realizarlo. Y los planes cambian.
ujú,
Tú puedes empezar con la mejor disposición y planificar y escribir un plan,
ujú,
pero pasan 2, 3, 4 meses y no lo realizaste, ¿no? O sea, no está trabajando. Bueno, ¿qué lo que
ujú,
tienes que hacer es hacer un ajuste del plan,
ujú.
cambiar ciertas cosas? Esa parte que acabaste de comentar de, o sea, de tal vez levantarnos un poquito más temprano. No, eso es una disciplina, pero la disciplina empieza la noche antes, que quiere decir que te acuestas un poquito más temprano.
Exacto.
Ese ha sido uno de los retos más grandes en mi vida. ¿Por qué? Porque me he acostumbré mi vida de acostarme después de las 11 las 12 de la noche. Entonces, para levantarme a las 5 a las 6 de la mañana me ha sido imposible. Entonces, ¿qué es lo
Claro,
que hice del año pasado? Decidí, está bien. No, mi meta es levantarme antes de las 6, lo ideal para mí, pero me voy a dar hasta las 7 de la mañana. O sea,
exacto.
jugué un truco en mi mente.
Ujú,
Entonces, que yo digo mentalmente, o sea, pongo el despertador, mira, hoy lo puse a las
sí.
5:40 y me desperté. Pero ayer, el lunes, me acosté tarde
Ujú,
el domingo viendo el Super Bowl, me acosté
sí,
tardísimo a las 12, 12 y
sí.
pico. ¿Qué es lo que hice? Puse el despertador a las 5:40, no me desperté, pero bueno, me di esa hora adicional y a las 7 me levanté.
Estaba
Entonces,
ready.
o sea,
Ujú,
me estoy dando gracias a mí, o sea, estoy siendo
sí,
misericordioso conmigo
sí.
y no machacarme. Antes yo me machacaba, miraba y me levantaba tarde y empezaba a maldecir el día y, o
Ujú,
sea, ha sido una batalla en mi vida, pero ya de
sí.
hace un año y pico para acá, nada, ya reconcilié esa parte a las 7 de la mañana, es el horario ideal para yo poderme levantar y es un horario bueno para yo poder ejercer o sea, realizar lo que yo quiero realizar.
Claro, y le digo algo antes que terminemos muy importante también de todo esto, ¿no? Que a veces, y lo vi, por supuesto, comencé a ver videos motivacionales y etcétera, y hay algo muy, muy importante, digo, para personas como yo, por ejemplo, yo soy joven, pero yo tengo dos niños, yo tengo una niña de 12 años y un niño de 6. La dinámica de mi casa en la mañana no simplemente es yo me levanté, yo tengo tiempo para hacerme el desayuno. Sin contar que aquí tratamos en la casa también, tenemos un perrito chiquitico, hasta eso, que es lo más sencillo, es déjale comida a Harvey, ponle agua, porque él es querido, él es de la familia, eso resta tiempo. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Siento que es muy importante no atacarnos, me lo estoy autodiciendo yo, ¿no? De que queremos a veces hacer plazos, disculpe, metas muy largas. No sé cómo explicarle. A ver, esta semana voy a hacer esto, voy a lograr esto esta semana. Porque
Correcto,
a veces como personas queremos que esa vida sea perfecta y todo sea perfecto durante todo el tiempo. Y
correcto.
es difícil, ya le digo, dos niños, por ejemplo, una familia, eh, pasan cosas, usted sabe. Y a veces, y lo que usted acaba de decir también, muy importante, a veces una bobería de la mañana, del estrés de la mañana con los muchachos, entonces ya quieres maldecir todo el día. No, 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 no. Sucedió esto, vamos a resolverlo ahora un momento y vamos a continuar, pero en positivo, no, ay, ya este día se arruinó, porque eso entonces nos lleva todo el día a la hoja hacia atrás. Yo pienso que es muy bueno. Coach, antes que, disculpe, su teléfono es el 786-663.
No, 683,
Ajá,
94594.
94. Ok, le paso un texto y usted me envía estos documentos.
¿Cómo que no?
¿Están
Mándame el
buenos?
correo, ponme el correo electrónico tuyo. No sé por qué,
Ujú.
Laura, ¿cuándo ella empezó con la oficina de nosotros? Ok, todavía no has hecho la introducción, ¿no? Ok. Está bien. Entonces, nada, Laura va a hacer una introducción que tú empezaste con nuestra oficina. Yo te voy a escribir y entonces
Ujú,
para hacer una cita y explicarte cómo es que puedes trabajar conmigo y, o sea, y lo que yo te puedo ofrecer como el Productivity Coaching.
ujú.
Como el
Ok,
Productivity.
ok, ok,
¿Ok?
está bien.
Está
Ok,
bien. Bueno,
bueno,
gracias
gracias.
por participar, aunque perdona que lo hice de la manera
No,
que lo
no, 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 no se preocupe, no se preocupe. Todo muy
Ok.
bien. Gracias a usted por
Bueno.
cambiar y traducírmelo al español, de verdad que sí, muchas gracias. Bueno.